Let's continue our second chapter, European colonialism. As we know that European countries, they dominated the weaker countries by establishing colonies there and pushed them into subjections. Among the dominated country, the one was America. The European migrants seized the land of the original inhabitants in America. They destroyed the local kingdom in Peru and Mexico. The original inhabitants were forced into slavery. Portugal and Spain were on the forefront in the competition among the European nations. Portugal brought Brazil in the American continent under their rule, and Spain by taking hold of Mexico. They discover gold mines. Spanish colonizer brought slaves from Africa to cultivate sugarcane and tobacco in the American field. However, once the Spanish discovered the mines of gold and silver, they concentrated more on mining the precious metal than agriculture. They established control over the entire coastal line of South America. The coastal region from Florida to California was held by the Spanish. Here they engaged the Native American and African slaves in farming and mining earned them enormous wealth. Spain appointed governor to administer these regions. The King of Spain was the supreme authority. An organization called Council of Indies was established to rule the colonies. This council was also in charge of the Spanish trade in the colonies. Essential raw material were exported out to Spain, and the finished goods used to be imported for sale in the local markets. The trade of gold and silver acquired from these colonies earned huge profit for the king. Witnessing Spain's prosperity, England, Holland, and France also began to establish their colonies in America. During the reign of Elizabeth I, the Queen of England, explorers were encouraged to undertake sea expedition. Establishing colonies was the prime intention. In the year 1496, John Abbott was granted permission to establish colonies on the American land. He established the British as the ruling authority in North America. In 1607, the British built Jamestown, a colony on the bank of River James. Later, the same colony was renamed as Virginia. Afterward, England established its colonies in the coastal region of North America, stretching from New England to Carolina. Along with earning commercial benefit, welfare of the home country was added to the colonial intention during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. To suit its colonial interest, England began to impose restrictions. The maritime law was a step in this direction. This law authorized only the British Company for sea transport. The Stamp Act made it obligatory to purchase special stamps for important documents. British colonies in America like Virginia and Massachusetts put up resistance against the Stamp Act and also other restrictions imposed on the colonies. On 5th March 1717, some people were shot down by the British soldiers in Boston, a port city in Massachusetts. The British Parliament had granted monopoly to East India Company to import and sell tea to the colonies. What do you mean by monopoly? A monopoly exists when a specific person or enterprise is the only supplier of a particular commodity. People demanding removal of restriction, but British government refused. In 1773, as an act of resistance, the local resident of Boston dumped the boxes containing tea in the sea. belonging to the East India Company. This event is known as Boston Tea Party. Against the government, a federation of colonies known as Continental Congress was established. In 1774, a meeting of the Congress was called. In this meeting, which known as First Continental Congress, a strong opposition was expressed to the import of British goods. It was also decided to boycott British goods. This event ultimately gave a momentum to the American independent movement against European powers. Second Continental Congress was held on 4th July. 13 colonies in America came together and declared independence from Great Britain. A document known as Declaration of Independence was adopted. This document was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. The crucial point of the document announced that the 13 American colonies were independent sovereign states. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness were the key points. Conflict between the colonies and the British Army continued. Finally, at Saratoga, the colonies got a decisive victory over the British Army. The victory proved to be a turning point as France and Spain also joined them in their struggle. On 7th October 1718, George Washington defeated the British Army. On 19 October, the British General Lord Cornwallis surrendered and America became independent. American Revolt for Independence, also known as American Revolution, to fight one's own king to get back their independence. They proved to the world that the subjects have right to fight for their natural right if ruler deny their right. It is said that state without a king is a phenomena which is a gift to the world from America. Canada, a country adjoining or next to America, was acquired by the British by the Paris Treaty. Later, the British accorded the status of a federal state to Canada and established a bicameral parliament. I think you know that what is bicameral parliament. When legislative body having two branches or chamber, it's called bicameral parliament. They had also appointed a governor general in Canada.